What's going on, guys, girls? Rob with you here this evening, and we're going to play some Bolorama. Let me go get the cover for the game. Bowling is the name of the game. We're playing with professional bowlers tonight. Bolorama is it. Championship bowling. And tonight's match is from Los Angeles, California. Okay. Los Angeles, California, round one. So, what I'm first going to do is introduce you to the bowlers that we've got going on. And they played preliminary match. What's up, Sean? Keith has went home, so we may see Keith here before the evening's over as well. We had preliminary matches earlier, and we ranked each one by how they played. So who will be number one tonight? Mark Roth. Mark Roth will be number one, facing on number 8, Chris Barnes. These are all professional bowlers. Walter Ray Williams, number 4, this week against Pete Weber, number 5. So those two, the winners of those two matches will be in the semifinals. And then the other set of the draw, number 3, Norm Duke against number 6, Parker Bone III, and number 2, Earl Anthony, and number 7, Jason Belmonte. What's up, Michael Peterson? Mark Roth bowled a 238 earlier today, and he got the number 1 position for that one reason. All right. So if you'd like to watch it along with us, I'm going to actually show you the rolls. I'm not going to show you my ugly mug all night. So what you want is as low of a dice roll on the red dice as possible. Probably should go get let me go get my black 20. It's the best one I've got. Okay. All right. We'll see which one ends up showing the numbers better, and whichever one does, we will play with that one. The other one we will set to the side. We're going to try the black dice first, okay? The lower the number on the 20, the better. The lower the number on the 6-sided die, the better. So the best roll you can get to 1-1, okay? And that'll be strikes all night long. Now, if you get a 20 and then like a 6, then that's a special thing that's going to happen. So it's got to be a 20 and a 6, and that'll be a special type roll. And there'll be some other rolls that could be special as well. But if you're rooting for one of the guys, you want as low a number on the 20 as possible and as low a number on the 6 as possible. And there's a good chance your bowler will move right on. So without anything further going on here, let's get you guys some show you guys what we got going on here. All right, got to erase some of this stuff. Got pop-ups coming up here. Here we go. So we're going to start off Mark Roth versus Chris Barnes, number 1 versus number 8 this week, okay? Like I say, I'm not going to show you me. So I will be watching for the comments. So I hope you guys will let me know if you cannot see well or whatever's happening. I'm going to try to set everything as close as I can to the edge so I can play the game. Okay? So let's roll with it. Let's roll with it here. Bring my dice tower right in front of us here. I'm going to actually move it over as far as I possibly can. That's right there. That'll work. Now, I think this will be good. This should be good. All right. So, what's up, Hammer Time? We're gonna play some bowling tonight, okay? Mark Roth versus Chris Barnes. Mark Roth, Chris Barnes. Okay. Like I say, guys, you know what's happening. You want the lowest number possible here, and you want the lowest number possible here. 1-1 is the best you can get. 20-6 really says just saw Chris Barnes at a bowling tournament this weekend. Very good bowler, too. So if you're rooting for him, yeah, definitely. Nothing wrong with rooting for one of the guys here. No, I don't have a problem with that at all. So yeah, if he's got a cheering section, that is wonderful. Nothing wrong with that in the least. So here we go. Mark Roth, Chris Barnes. Mark Roth, the number 1 rated bowler this week. Chris Barnes, number 8 this week, coming into this tournament. And Hammer Time, who you want to win? And yeah, let me know who you guys would like to win. And if you want to, beforehand, put numbers up as to what score you think they may shoot as well. Okay. All right. Mark Roth. Like I say, you want low 20s and you want low on a 6-sided die. You want that number 1 right there. Every chance you can get. Here we go. Mark Roth will lead us off here at the first, here in the first frame. And that's a 4 and a 2. And it's a strike for Mark Roth. So Hammer Time wants Mark Roth to win. Chris Barnes now. Chris Barnes steps up to the first frame. And let's see what happens here. Whoa. What would have helped if I rolled both of them? Okay. Both of them's not rolled. They won't count. 1, 2, 3. That's cool. 5 and a 2. That's a strike for Chris Barnes. They both have strikes. All right. We're in match 1, folks. It is number 1, Mark Roth versus number 8, Chris Barnes. We're just starting off, and if you're just getting here, welcome to anyone and everyone here. Mark Roth in the second frame, he's coming off of a strike. That's an 8 with a 2. That's a strike for Mark Roth. So 2 strikes leading off for Mark Roth. Chris Barnes now will come to the second frame. And he will roll a 10 and a 5. 10 and 5 strike, Chris Barnes. Right on the edge there, though. You just don't want those high numbers, guys. You want those low numbers. Mark Roth now coming off a double. That's a 10 and a 4. That's a strike for Mark Roth, and he is perfect through 3 frames. We have 30 up there through the first frame. And now Chris Barnes, he will follow suit, see if he can get another strike. That's a 2. Yes, indeed. Strike city here. How about this, guys? Wow. Wouldn't it be something to witness a perfect game? It would be awesome. And we have strikes. Are you not alternating bowlers who start each frame? No, I'm not alternating this first round, Mike. I'm not going to. I'm just going I could do that, I guess. I could do that. Why not, right? All right, Barnes, let's see. 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it then. That's fine. Barnes now coming off the triple. Barnes now, he needs at least, if he's going to get anything with a 4, 2, 3, 4, or 5, it can only be 13. So anything 14 and higher, he better get a 1. And that is a 2 with a 6. That's a strike. And Barnes coming out the gate with 4 strikes. Mark Roth now. Mark Roth, 3 strikes already. He is on his way. Let's see what he can do here. He lines up here at the 4th frame. And it's a 12, and it's a 2. Yes, sir. Strike city. And man, oh man, have you guys ever witnessed a perfect game, I tell you. Both of these guys have through 4 frames. They're perfect. And Mark Roth now, he will step over to the 5th frame. And let's see what happens. That's a 12 and a 5. And that is a strike. Mark Roth now. Mark Roth, perfect through 5. Chris Barnes now. Let's see what he can do. And these low numbers are popping up for everybody. So let's see if somebody may be able to get something going tonight. And that is, oh, it's a 19. Spoke too fast. 7 plus. So that is a 7 for Chris Barnes on the 7 plus scale. He needs, well, he's a great spare guy, though. So anything but a 20 right here. If it's not a 20, he's in great shape. That's a 12, and he gets his mark. So he has got 87 right there to the 90 through 3 frames. And now Chris Barnes, after his mark, will come up and step up to the 6th frame, coming off of the spare. And that's a 5, and that he gets a strike right there. Perfect deal there. And 107 through 4 there is what I have got. You guys can keep score as well, okay? You certainly can. He's got 4 strikes, a 7 with a spare, and then another strike. I come up with 107 there through 4. Mark Roth now. Mark Roth. Perfect through 5. Let's see what he can do. That's a 14 and a 2. That is only a 9. So that will be 29 there added to that being 119 there. Now let's see if he can get his spare. Anything but a 20 and a 6. It's a 20 and a 6 open frame. Wow. Wow. How about that? Oh my gosh. That is not nice. So 138 and then a 147 through 6 for him. And now Roth coming off the open. Oh my gosh. Open frame. 7th frame now. 15 with a 6. It'll be a 7. It's 7 pins is all he gets. And it's a 7 on a minus right here. So he really needs a low number here. He got a 5 with a 5. That'll be a spare. And he needed to mark really bad there. Chris Barnes now. Barnes sees the opening here. Let's see, 20, that'll be 127 right there through 5. Yeah, right here, he could definitely see some, he could take the lead here. Barnes could seize the lead. Let's see what he gets. He gets a 15. 15 and 3. That's a 9. That is not what he wanted. Now he needs to mark. Anything but a 20 and a 6 once again. That's 8 and a 5. That's a mark. And these guys are playing really close golf through 6 frames, tied at 147. How about that? Chris Barnes now. Chris Barnes now will go to the 8th frame. This is big time here. Need low numbers, guys. That's a 12 with a 4. That's a strike. That is a strike. And then that is 167 through 7 frames. And Mark Roth now, he definitely needs a strike here. Let's see if he can get a low number on the 20. That's a 1 with a 5. You can't get much lower than that. That's a strike. And they are still tied going into the 9th frame. 8 through 7 frames. 167 right now is what I'm looking at. And if you guys, I'm not a professional scorer, so if you see something I'm not doing right, definitely put it in the comments. But I was taught by a pretty good person, so we'll see what's happening here. Mark Roth now going to the 9th frame. Would love nothing more than to get a big X right here. Let's see what happens. That's a 4, and that's a strike. He strikes at number 9. And now Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes can ill afford anything but a strike here. Let's see what happens. He gets a 7. Yes, indeed. That's a strike. And these guys are staying level through 9 frames, and Chris Barnes now walks over to the 10th frame. 167 right now through 7 frames, with both of them coming off doubles, strikes off 8 and 9. So they are absolutely tied right now. Chris Barnes steps up to the 10th frame. And that is a strike. Yes, sir. That's a triple for him, and that makes a 197 through 8. And let's see what he can do with his second shot here at 10. That's a 12. That's another strike. He is forcing Mark Roth's hand here. And now his third and final shot here. Let's see, that will be 227. And now he could bowl himself a 257 if he can get a triple here. If he can get strike out. 11 on a 5. Yes, sir. He did it. He did it. 257, Chris Barnes. And now, Mark Roth. Mark Roth, it's pretty simple, guys. He has got to strike out here at number 10. He cannot mark. He has got to get strikes. He needs 12 or less, pretty much. A no 20 at all. And the only way he can get a 13 to 19 is if he gets a 1 on this die right here. So hang tight. He needs little numbers. What's up, Keith White? It's 257 right now, and Mark Roth has to strike out here in the 10th frame. Here we go. 11 with a 6. He gets a 7, and he will not move on, folks. Chris Barnes will be moving on, and he will finish out. He will get his spare here. 27 there will be 194. And let's see just exactly. That's 20 more. That's 214. And he is not going to win this match. Mark Roth will not. He will strike out, but he shoots a 234 compared to the 257 of Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes will move on to the semifinal match. Chris Barnes will move on. All right. We can go to any match you guys want to next. Look at the matchups. We already got 1 and 8 already taken care of. So if you would like a certain one you want to see, let me know. And I can have Walter Ray Williams Jr. against Pete Weber, Jason Belmonte against Earl Anthony, or Norm Duke and Parker Bone III. So you guys let me know which match you would like to see next, and we'll play it. All righty, line it up here. 257, Chris Barnes. He got himself let's see, 5. He ended the match with 5 strikes, and he got 10 strikes in the whole match. So wow, Chris Barnes was really, really pumped, and Mark Roth with only 8 strikes. Nobody has put up anything, so I will decide where we go next. How about that? We will go with the 2 of Earl Anthony and Jason Belmonte. Jason Belmonte, a current player, bowls with the two-handed style sometimes. He's from Australia. Very, very accomplished bowler. So we will face Earl Anthony and Jason Belmonte right now. And Earl Anthony will go first. How good is he? 13. As long as it's not a 6. 1 through 5 on this. As long as it's a 13 or less, it's a strike. And 1 through 20 if he gets a number 1 on there. So a 1 is an automatic strike for Earl Anthony. Okay. All righty. Let's go for it. Jason Belmonte will kind of tell you his stats in just a moment. Earl Anthony, the lefty. Oh wow, the gate was right there. So Keith was waiting for a while yesterday. Yeah, he went home yesterday. He was actually the guy that showed me how to score. So you guys, if you got a piece of paper, keep score with me and see if I mess up. Okay, Chicago 7-foot giant, welcome to the channel. Earl Anthony, the lefty, steps up to the first frame, and here we go. He's looking for a 13 or less for sure. And he bowls a 2, and that's a strike for Earl Anthony. And for all lefties out there, he is representing for you tonight, the lefty contingency. Jason Belmonte, the Australian now, he steps up. 1 to 13 is great for him as well, but a 20 of any sort is not very good for him. So let's see what happens here. That is a 19. That's going to be a Y. So we're going to see what he ends up shooting here. Okay. This is not going to be good for him. He does not want this. 26. He only got 6 pins here. 6 pins for Jason Belmonte. Not very good there. You don't want a 6 down that high number, or it could be bad. What's up, my friend? He got 6 pins, so I've got to get the 6th spare attempt. And he is a double A spare man, so he is definitely looking for anything 17 or less here. And he got a 13 and gets the mark. He got the spare there. So very well done. Very well done. All right. Now Jason Belmonte steps over to the second frame, and he desperately needs a strike. 19 with a 6, and that is once again problems. That is once again problems for Almonte. That's a 16 and a 16 on a Y scale. It's 6 pins again. Wow. Wow, the pins are not falling for Belmonte right now. That is not good. And now, once again, he will try to spare up there, and he will get his spare. But Earl Anthony coming off a strike is looking really good right now. Jason Belmonte through 1 frame has 16 pins is also not very good. All right, Earl Anthony now. Let's see what he can do. 13. And that's as high as he wants to go, 13, but it's a strike. Earl Anthony strikes. And now he's going to step over to the 3rd frame, see if he can get a triple. And indeed he does. Yes, he does. Earl Anthony. 14-pin lead through the 1st frame. Jason Belmonte now. Belmonte desperately needs a strike here. 11, and that is a strike. That helps him a lot. And he's got 36 through 2, but that's just a warm-up for him. He definitely needs another few strikes there to kind of get back in this match. Let's see. Belmonte. Here at the 4th frame. That's a 1, and indeed, that's a strike. So he's coming off a double. That'll be good for him. Earl Anthony now. Is he going to cool off here at the 4th frame? All the lefties out there are saying, no, he's not going to cool off. Coming off 3 strikes to start the match. And guess what? He gets, only 8 pins. Only 8 pins for Earl Anthony there. And 58 now through 2 frames, and he has a 22-pin lead right now. Yeah, I know it, Chicago. This week though, he's ranked 7th. He just came into this match 7th. He didn't have a good match earlier in the day. That's why he's doing this. And Earl Anthony now, 8 pins, looking to get clean it up here. If he can get the mark, 14 and 4, yes. And he will mark right there. And very well done for Earl Anthony. Now, he's going to step over to the 5th frame. Earl Anthony now coming off a spare. And that is a strike there for the lefty. First 5 frames, 4 strikes and a mark. So very well done so far. Belmonte would love to get back in this match. No better way than to get a strike right here. Let's see what he can do. Indeed, he did. Strike Jason Belmonte, and he is only 12 pins back through 3 frames. And now he's going to step over to the 6th frame, coming off a triple. 16. Uh-oh, that's not good. Uh-oh. Now we have to go to a chart just to see how many he gets. That's a 42. That's only 5 pins. Wow. 5 pins. So it's 5 plus is what that is. Very, very hard frame there. So let's see what he's going to do. Jason Belmonte needs this one. This spare cannot go to waste here. Let's see. 16 and a 1. And he gets a spare. He does get his mark here. So 25 there would be 91. Yeah. And that's 20. That's 98. So through 4 frames, it's only a 7-pin difference right now. 7-pin difference for Earl Anthony. But let's see if he can come off his strike and see what he does here in the 6th frame. Earl Anthony now. 20. No, indeed. 7 pins. 7 pins is not what he wanted there. So it'll be a 7 plus. Earl Anthony definitely needs to get this. Yeah, Jeff Gladney. Yeah, I heard he was in an accident. Yeah, the former #1 pick for the Vikings, and he ended up going to the Cardinals. Yep, he was in an automobile accident and died today. Yep, 7 plus here is what we got. All right, it'll be a 9-6, and that is indeed the mark, and that will put him at 118. 118. Let's have 20 there. It's 111. So 7-pin difference still. And Earl Anthony now, let's see what he can do. 7th frame. 10 with a 3. That is a strike. That is a strike for Earl Anthony. And he's got 138 through 6 frames. And Belmonte needs to stick with him here. He needs a strike right here in the worst way. 5 on the 5. Yes, indeed. He gets a strike, and he stays at 7 pins back. But now Belmonte, coming off a strike, needs this in the worst kind of way. Needs that low 20. Let's see if he gets a low number on a 20. That's a 1 and a 1. Doesn't come in lower than that. That's a strike, Jason Belmonte, here in the 8th. Earl Anthony now, to keep the lead, he pretty much has to strike here. If he just marks, this match will be almost even. But let's see what Earl Anthony does. That is a 1 and a 4. That's a strike right there all day long. And we're going to the 9th frame, folks. 7-pin difference. 7-pin difference right now for Earl Anthony above Jason Belmonte. We're going to the 9th. 18 and a 6, and that will be a Y, and that will not be what he wants to see here. That is not 51. That is only 5 pins for Earl Anthony. 5 pins for Earl Anthony. We'll add 25 to that. We'll make it 163. So not what he wanted at all. Not what he wanted. We'll say 25. Yeah, 165. And now, with a 5-pin spare, he is a perfect spare man. So let's see how well he does here. 18 on a 1 here. Yeah, that is the spare. He does get the spare there, so it's going to be 20 more there. It'll be 183. But now, Belmonte, Jason Belmonte. Let's see if he can get this triple here. He's going to be within 2 pins of Earl Anthony. 17 on a 1. Yes, indeed. That's a strike. And that's a 161 through 7 frames. 2 pins behind is all he is. And right now, actually, he's in better shape right now than Earl Anthony because he's coming off the triple right here. Let's go to the 10th frame. 10th frame for Belmonte. 17. And it's only 8 pins. Oh, my gosh. Only 8 pins. So he needs to mark here. He needs a mark. Got it. He did mark. Now, 28 right there will be one. Let's see, yep, 28. Belmonte actually takes the lead, 189. So he's got a 6-pin lead right here, but this is big right here. Let's see, 20 there be 209 through 9 frames. And let's see what he can do here. This is huge. 15 in the middle, only 9 to finish up with. Only 9 to finish up with. So 228 for Jason Belmonte. Jason Belmonte with a 228. So now Earl Anthony forced to make a strike here pretty much. I don't think a spare will do him any good. He has to strike here if he's going to beat Belmonte. 6. That is a strike indeed. Yes, indeed. 203 now right there through 9. So what is he? Let's see. What would he need here? Could he mark? Let's see. Mark 223. No. He has got to strike here. He has got to strike. A spare will not do. A spare will not do. A strike. Let's see. 223. A strike in 5 pins is what he needs in order to at least. So a strike here is what Earl Anthony has to have. 3. He got it. He gets it. Now, 5 pins on right here in the final shot, and it will be a tie. Anything above 5, and Earl Anthony will be the winner. 11, and he struck out. Wow, 233, 228, 233. Earl Anthony will move on to our semifinal match. Earl Anthony moves on. Earl Anthony. So he and Chris Barnes at this time are our semifinalists. And the other 2 matches we have not done yet. Parker Bone III and Norm Duke, Pete Weber and Walter Ray Williams Jr., the #1 player in the world. So if you would like, whoever you'd like to watch, let me know, and we'll start them off here in just a second. You just let me know who you would like to see play. Let's see. All righty. Let's do this one. Okay. If you're here tonight, do so. All right, we'll play Walter Ray Williams Jr., Pete Weber. Walter Ray Williams, 13, but he can even get a 20 and a 1. So he can get a 20 on here and 1. Yep, we will play it. So number 4 coming into this week. He scored, I don't have the paper right here with me, but he got the 4th highest score of the 8 of them. So he is ranked 4th, and that's why he's playing Pete Weber. The winner will play Chris Barnes, who upset Mark Roth earlier with a 257. Very good game. Walter Ray Williams now. Let's see what he can do. What you want to see, if you're watching me for the first time, you want to see a 13 or less. 13 or less on the 20-sided one, and anything but a 6. 6 right here can mess you up, but 13 and 5, 13 and 4, any of that is fine with Walter Ray Williams. Here we go. First frame of the 3rd match. It's a 19. 19 is going to be 7 pins for Walter Ray Williams Jr. 7 pins. And let's see if he can get his mark here. He will. And he will get his spare. Walter Ray Williams Jr. starts off with a 7 and a spare. Pete Weber now. Pete Weber. Let's see what he can do. All right. 2. And that is a strike for Pete Weber. Strike for Pete Weber. And we will go to the 2nd frame. Weber steps over kind of winks at Walter Ray, and let's see what he can do here. 13, and that is once again another strike for Pete Weber. Walter Ray Williams now. He got a little pressure on him here going to the second frame. Let's see what happens. 9, and that is a strike. That is a strike. And they got 20 through the first frame. And now Walter Ray Williams kind of grins Pete Weber, and he's going to the third frame, and he lets it go. 13, indeed, it's a strike for Walter Ray Williams. Pete Weber now coming off a double. Here at the third frame, he realizes he better keep striking because Walter Ray Williams is getting hot. Let's see what happens. 16 on a 3, and that is only 8 pins, folks. That is only 8 pins. So that'll be a 28. Weber up by 8 right now. And let's see if he can get the spare. Yes, indeed, he gets his spare. And that will be 48 right there through 2 frames. Now he's going to the fourth frame. And Walter Ray is in great shape right now, especially with Weber getting his spare right here in the middle. Pete Weber, I'm sorry, will now shoot. 17, that's a strike. And he has got 68 pins through 3 frames. We go back to Walter Ray Williams now, coming off a double. He needs these. He needs this bad. Let's see what Walter Ray Williams Jr. can do. 14 on a 4. Oh, that's only 9 pins there. 9. 29 makes 49. He's actually up on Weber by 1 pin right now. So if he can clean this up, he will be up. He will be 1 pin ahead. 5, yes, indeed, he does. And he is up by 1 pin, 69 to 68 through 4 frames. Walter Ray Williams steps over to the 5th frame. Let's see what he can do. Strike, 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 strike. And now he kind of hands off his towel toward Pete Weber, and Weber has nothing to do with it. Weber now focused in, coming off a strike on the 4th frame. Let's see what he can do here. And let's see what Weber can do. 17 with a 2 is only 8 pins. Only 8 pins. And that is not what he needed. Weber now. He's anything but a 20. That's a 19, but it is a spare. Cleans it up. It has got 88 through 4 frames, where Walter Ray Williams Jr. has 89 through 4 frames. So Pete Weber now. Let's see. Pete Weber now steps over to the 6th frame. Down 1 pin is all, but coming off a mark. 19 on a 1. That's a strike all day long. And he has 108 right there. So if Walter Ray Williams can get a strike here, he can spread the lead out. Walter Ray Williams Jr. here at the 6th frame. 14 on a 2. 9 pins. Wow. Wow. Now, to keep the 1 pin lead, he has to get a spare. And he gets it. He gets it. Wow. 109 to 108 through 6 frames. And Walter Ray Williams is coming off of a spare. Here we go. Let's see what's going to happen. 8 with a 4. That is a strike for Walter Ray Williams Jr., and he has 129 through 6. And Pete Weber now has the advantage. So Pete Weber now here at the 7th frame. If he doesn't strike here, he will stay 1 pin back, which is nuts. Or as long as he gets his spare anyway, he'll stay 1 pin back. That's a 9 on a 5. That's a strike. That is a strike all night long. Pete Weber now Pete Weber, he is trying to come out of this thing looking like, smelling like a rose. Best way here in the 8th frame, get another strike. 4 with a 5. Yes, indeed. He does get the triple. He does get the triple. Now he's up by 9 pins. And we go to Walter Ray Williams Jr. now. Walter Ray Williams Jr. needs this frame big time here in the 8th. Let's see what he can do. 12 with a 6. No, indeed. That's a 7 pin. That's all he gets. 7 pins. He has got to get a mark. An open right here pretty much would be his downfall. So he doesn't need an 18. He needs 17 or less pretty much. And it's a 12. That's a mark. And that's 149 through 7 for Walter Ray Williams Jr. He steps over to the 9th frame now. Steps over to the 9th frame, and he's looking for a low number on that 20. And that's a 2. That's a strike all night long. And Walter Ray Williams Jr. only can hope that Pete Weber does not strike out, or he is going to be in some serious trouble. 169 right now through 8 for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Pete Weber now steps up to the 9th frame. That's a 10 with a 6. That's only going to be 8 pins. Wow. 28, 166 right there. So it's not over. It's definitely not over, especially if Walter Ray Williams, Walter Ray Williams does not, if he can strike out here, he can win this thing. Pete Weber now with an 8. 19 and a 4. And he does get his spare. He does get a spare, but he's 86. He's up 17 pins now. But the problem is we're going to the 10th frame, and Walter Ray Williams Jr. comes off of a strike. All right, let's see what happens here in the 10th for Weber. That's an 8. That's a strike. That is a strike. 206 through 9. But Walter Ray Williams is not done yet. If he can strike out, he has a legit chance of winning if Weber doesn't strike out. Strike. Strike indeed here. And now Weber can get a 236 right here. If he can get a perfect ball here, we'll see what he can do. 5 on a 5. Yes, indeed. He struck out with a 236. 236. So Walter Ray Williams Jr. Walter Ray Williams, I think, is older. No, you don't want a 6. What's up, Sermon? Yeah, you do not want 6s unless it's a 20 with a 6 on it. And then you might end up having a great game. Yeah. Yeah. So the lower the number, the better. Definitely. The lower the number, the better. So right now, let's see. Walter Ray Williams is forced to strike here. He has got to get a strike here. 17 on a 5. He does not do it. Walter Ray Williams Jr. will not move on. Pete Weber will be representing in the next round. That is a spare. That is 20. That'll be 189. But he cannot beat the 236 of Pete Weber. He will go ahead and shoot, and that will be a strike, and he gets himself a 209. 236 to 209. And where do you buy this game? You buy this game. Keith, throw it up there, please. Play.com. PLAAY.com, Travis. And I'll show it to you. Bowl-O-Rama is the game. Here it is. Bowl-O-Rama is the game. And you get different cards, and it's not very difficult at all. It's not very difficult at all. Bowl-O-Rama. Bowl-O-Rama. Play.com. Somebody will throw that up there. If you will do it, I'll appreciate it. If not, I can put it up there myself. Somebody put, yep, thank you, Keith. Keith took care of that for me. That's exactly where you can look it up, Travis. You can look at the games. They have baseball, football, hockey, soccer, demolition derby, NASCAR. Well, racing. It doesn't have to be NASCAR. So yeah, no problem at all. Have you ever heard of it, Travis? Have you ever heard of it? Keith Avalon has been on my channel before. If you go back at I don't know, a couple months ago, he was actually on my channel. He is the CEO of the company here, and his name is on the product. Keith Avalon, I'm sure is around here somewhere. He's got his name somewhere attached to the game, but yeah, he has a YouTube channel as well. You can definitely check out his channel. Yes, Red, White, and Blue Racing. That is Keith's. Yes. Yeah. Soccer Blast, Hockey Blast, History Maker Golf, History Maker Baseball. They're doing a dodgeball game. They got a basketball game. He's got a lot of different things going on. He's got a couple of free games there, flying overseas around the world. So NBA Finals, Chicago. Do you want me to really tell you who I think wins? I like the Celtics. I like the Celtics. The Warriors are so built on they have to make the outside shot. The Celtics really have an inside game. I think the Celtics win in 6. We'll see what happens. It's crazy stuff. And then tonight, Carolina's playing the Rangers. I'm telling you right now, either one of those two teams is going to play Tampa. I give them a legit chance of winning. They've got home ice. Carolina has not lost on their home ice all year. They haven't lost on their home ice all year. So we'll see what happens. And they have in all of the playoffs anyway. They haven't lost on their home ice. They're down 2-0 right now. Yeah, Carolina's down 2-0. Trust me, that game is not over yet. It's not over yet. So, yep. So Walter Ray Williams just was defeated. He did not bowl very well. A 209 is not really anything to write home about. So, so Travis Wilson, I hope you guys will definitely take advantage and maybe get some of these games that I show on the channel. I don't show them. I'm not representing anybody. I just show them because I like to play them and hope that I'll get an audience to watch them. Let's go to this fourth match in the semifinal. I mean, in our quarterfinals here. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Put a little more light on the situation. That's better. Next round, I was showing a lot of people the Hershey's ice cream flavors. That stuff is incredible. Oh yeah, it's really good. Really is. I've got a Hershey ice cream about 4 miles away from where I live, and Keith liked that. The final match tonight. The final match in the quarterfinals faces Norm Duke. Norm Duke, he is one of the legends of all time, against Parker Bone III. Parker Bone III, John Wise. What's going on? So do put up who you think will win. Norm, let's see. Have we had any? Earl Anthony won a close match, but the other two matches weren't that close at the end. So, Chris Barnes comes off a 10-strike performance. 10 strikes. What's up, Philip? So Norm Duke. Chicago likes Norm Duke. Anybody a Parker Bone fan? Parker Bone III? Put it out there before we start. If you like Parker Bone or Norm Duke. All right. We are ready to go. Last semifinal match. The winner faces Chris Barnes, who shot that 257 a little while ago. So Yeah, good luck, right, guys? Here we go. No, I'm sorry. The winner takes on Earl Anthony. Pete Weber will take on Chris Barnes. That's right. Pete Weber will take on Chris Barnes. Norm Duke, Parker Bone III. Winner takes on Earl Anthony. So Parker Bone, John Wise says, I'll root for Parker Bone. Okay. I'm without power, says Philip. Not cool there. That's not what you want to see. All right. Norm Duke steps up to the first frame, and here we go. That's a 12 with a 1, and that's a strike all day long. In fact, Norm Duke, as long as he gets a 1 right there, it's a strike. Do a live interview with the sweet brownie lady. Parker Bone III. Parker Bone III now. He wouldn't mind. As long as he gets a 1, he's fine. He gets a 12 with a 4. Strike. Parker Bone. And we're going to the second frame, all tied up. Here we go. Parker Bone III. That's an 18 with a 6, and that is not what you want to see. That's a Y, and this is not good for Parker Bone. Let's see, 25. 25 is a 6-pin result here. 6 pins is all he gets. That is not good to get those 6s, guys. Those 6s are not what you want. 6 pins. All right, 6 pins, and he is only a decent spare player. He's not the best. 4 with a. That is, he picked it up. Yep. So he got a mark there. So Parker Bone gets his mark here in the second frame. Norm Duke now. Norm Duke now goes. 1 with a 6, it's a strike. Don't want to see a strike, but if you're going to see a 6, hope for a 1. That's not so bad. Norm Duke steps over to the third frame. He's running over there. And a 2 with a 3, strike. And he has a 10-pin lead going to the second frame already. Parker Bone the third needs to strike here at the third. Norm Duke coming off a triple. Yeah, you don't want to split. You don't want the banana split. You're right. Parker Bone coming off a spare. And that is an 8 with a 2, strike. That is a strike, and that's 40 through 2 frames. And Parker Bone goes over to the fourth frame, kind of sliding and gliding, and he is hoping for a strike here. Here he goes. And that's a 3 with a 6. Yes, indeed, another strike. Parker Bone the third. Norm Duke now comes to the fourth frame. Off of 3 consecutive strikes. Not Parker Bones. Nope. What bowler is that? You're wrong in all facets of the words, Keith White. You dirty-minded son of a bitch, you. All right. You dirty-minded son of a bitch. Keith White. You only had to see him if he'd have been here, folks. Keith White. The silent but violent. Silent but violent Keith White. Unless he eats beans. Just ask him about it, right? Here we go. Norm Duke looking for the strike. 18 and a 4. That is only 9 pins. That is not what he wanted to see. 59 there. 19-pin lead right now. And let's see. Anything but a 20. No 20 he wants to see. Nope. That's a spare. That's 79 through 3 frames. So Norm Duke now goes to the fifth. Then he's silent and deadly. Yeah. Well, unless he's cutting farts. And if he's cutting farts, that's called rooting and tooting. Norm Duke here to fifth frame. 13. Yes, indeed, a strike. Yes, indeed, a strike there. And that will put him up to 99 through 4 frames. But Parker Bone now. Parker Bone the third. Let's see if we can get a strike here to fifth frame. 18 with a 6. No, it's going to be a wide result. And Norm Duke is in great shape here. Let's see what's going to happen. That's a 54. That's only going to be 5 pins, folks. Only going to be 5 pins. Wow. Norm Duke's in great shape. It's a negative, a 5 minus there. So let's see what happens there. 19 with a 3. Ooh, that's not going to be good. That's an open frame. Oh, my gosh. Wowee. That is not good. 25 be 65 there. And then 17 to that will be 73, 72 rather. 72. Yeah. And then 7 to that be 79. That is not good there. Parker Bone now. So here we go. Parker Bone. 17 with a 4. 9 pins. 9 pins. So he definitely needs this one. And that's a spare. That is a spare there.
Do you want this light one? The overhead light?
You can cut it off.
Okay.
Yeah. So Norm Duke now. Do you ever see 164 scared NASCAR diecast at your auctions? Sometimes, John. Sometimes. You should have seen the hardware Rob dig out for me in the bathroom. He put it on the vanity. What the hell did I put on? What hardware did I dig out for you in the bathroom, Keith? It wasn't a fan. Oh, yeah, to unplug your toilet. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's called a swerve. Swerve and burv. All right. Your toilet unplugged. Yeah, hell yeah. It's not a plunger. Hell no. This son of a bitch goes down long ways into the line now. Yeah. Let's see. Norm Duke. Not Dookie, but Norm Duke. All right. 12 on a 6. 7 pins. Wow. Now he's got to do something good. 8 with a 3. That'll be a spare. And boy, oh boy. 119. Dwayne Martz. It's like a snake. It's a little different. Now Norm Duke. He's up 40 pins. But let's see what he can do here. With that open frame. 6 with a 5. Strike Norm Duke. And Norm Duke is in good shape here. Parker Bone he's in force mode of having to get a strike here. And he gets it. Strike. 99 there for him. 139. 40 pin difference right now. So Bone needs to get another strike. 13 with a 6, and he didn't. He got a 7. He gets a 7. So a mark right here really doesn't do Bone a lot of good. He gets a mark, but still 20, 119. He is way back right now at this point. Norm Duke now. See, here in the 8th frame, what can he do? 14. And that's a 9. So Norm Duke's trying to make it interesting, it looks like. 9. Anything but a 20 and a 6. 12 and a 5. That's a spare. 59, 40 pin lead going into the 9th frame. But it's not over. It's definitely not over yet. But it's close to being over. 10, and that's a strike. Norm Duke now, he's got him in some serious trouble now. 179 through 8. 9th frame, Bone, Parker Bone now. Let's see. 13, that's a strike. And that is 40 pin difference now. Let's see what Parker can do here in the 10th frame. Got to get strikes. 10, that's a strike. Now, Let's see what he can do here. 16 and a 4. No, that's a 9. Open might help him. I don't know. Open with Duke. He might be able to still win this thing. That's a strike. I mean, that's a spare. So first off, we got 29 to add to 139. That'd be 158. No, let's see. 49, 59, 69. That'd be 168. 168. And then let's see what Bone finished at with 20. Be 188. So yeah, this match is over. This match is over. Norm Duke is gonna win us a. Norm Duke will get a strike there. We'll see what Duke can do here. That's a strike. 30 more pins. 209 already. Norm Duke beats Parker Bone there. And that's another strike. 30. 239. Parker Bone Jr. Norm Duke rather wins over Parker Bone a third. So Mark Roth with a Chris Barnes with a 257. Chris Barnes against Pete Weber. Yep. And in the other semifinal, we've got Norm Duke and Earl Anthony. Earl Anthony, folks. So the lefty, anybody out here left-handed, you have got yourself a chance. You got yourself still a chance if you are a lefty, because Earl Anthony is still in the hunt here. Earl Anthony. So who do we want? Which matchup? Earl Anthony and Norm Duke, or Chris Barnes, Pete Weber? Who do we want? Who do we want? Einstein was left-handed, but Einstein was not a golfer. Einstein was not a golfer. He was not a bowler, rather. All right, we'll do Norm Duke, Earl Anthony then. Let's do that. Norm Duke comes out of that first round, the quarterfinals with a 239. Earl Anthony with a 233. He only won his match by 5 pins. So he was tested. So Norm Duke will go first. Norm Duke will line up here at the first frame. Earl Anthony. We got a lot of folks here, and we got a few here. Does anybody a Norm Duke fan? Everybody seems to be an Earl Anthony fan. If you're left-handed, you got to root for Earl Anthony. If you're lefty, you got to. All right, Norm Duke. Here we go. You got to hope for low numbers on the 20, and you don't want to ever see the vicious 6. You don't want a 6. So, Norm Duke. John Wise says, go Norm. Here we go. All righty. 4 and 3. That's a strike for Norm Duke. And Earl Anthony now. He picks it up with his left hand, and he's going to go here on the first frame and see what happens there. Yes, indeed. Earl Anthony with a strike. Earl Anthony with a strike. I don't know how well we can see. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, that might be better. Yeah, I think we can see it better. All right, Norm Duke. All right, Earl Anthony now. Earl Anthony coming off a strike. Earl Anthony, 13 with a 6. And that's going to cause problems. That's going to be a 7 for him. That's not good. That's not good. Now, let's see what Earl Anthony can do. We'll try to mop up 17 on a 5. And that will be a mark. So he will get his spare. Now we go to Norm Duke here in the second frame, coming off a strike. 11 on a 3, strike. Ooh, a strike all the way there, Norm Duke. And he is marching over to the third frame. He is going with a purpose. Let's see what's going to happen. Norm Duke. Norm Duke, 16 on a 2. And he gets himself 9 pins. And he's got a 9-pin lead after the first frame. Let's see if he can clean up the mess. He does. And he will walk over he will sit down now while Earl Anthony steps up right here. Earl Anthony, if he can mark, if he can get a strike right here, they'll be tied. So let's see what. Pretty well tied anyway. Let's see what happens here. Whoops, that's a leaner. That's a leaner. Let's try again. Here we go. That's a 5 with a 5. That is a strike. So 40 each through 2 frames. Now, Earl Anthony goes to the 4th frame, and the lefty pulls one out of the hat. No, he does not either. 7 pins is all he gets on a 7 minus, but he is an excellent spare artist here. So let's see what he can do here. 6 with a 5. And he gets a spare. He does get his spare, but only a 60 through the first 3 frames. Norm Duke now would love a strike. Strike would be the best thing could happen to him here. We'll see what happens here in the 4th frame. 14 on a 1, and that is indeed a strike. And they are still knotted, tied up through 4 frames. But Norm Duke coming off a strike. Let's see what he can do here on the 5th frame. That's a 9-2. Yes, indeed. Another strike, Norm Duke. So Earl Anthony can ill afford to step here to the 5th frame, coming off a mark, a 7 spare. So let's see what he can do here. That's a 1 and a 1. That's as good as it can get. That's a strike. And he has 80 through the first 4 frames, but he's going over to the 6th frame now. Let's see. Earl Anthony now got the thumbs up for the left-hander, and now he's picking up the ball, picks up that bright blue ball. Now he's getting it. It's a little more cut to it. Let's see what he can do. 17 and a 4, and it's only 8 pins. Not good there. 8 pins. That's 8 plus. Very good spare pickup there, and that will be a 100 through 5 frames. So Norm Duke is going to have the lead here, it looks like. Duke now comes to the 6th frame. Let's see what he can do. Coming off a double. 13 on a 1. Boom. Strike. Norm Duke. So through 4 frames, he has 90 pins. Coming off a triple. Let's see what he's going to do now. 7th frame, Norm Duke. 20 with a 3. That is not what he wanted. 7 pins. 7 pins, 27. So 17 pin lead through the 5th frame. So far, now he has to pick up this spare. 7, yes indeed, he picks it up. But now, he's left the door open now for Earl Anthony. Earl Anthony now needs a strike, though. He does need a strike here in the 7th frame. That is a leaner there. Actually, it's not a leaner. It's 11. That's a strike. That is a strike. Down 17 pins, but off of a strike. Let's see what Earl Anthony can do. Here in the 8th frame. 12 and a 1. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Double for Earl Anthony. Norm Duke now. If he wants to keep this lead, he better at least get a good mark here, but it wouldn't hurt to get a lot of pins right here in the 8th frame. 8 with a 6. That's only 8 pins. So 18 added to that. 155. So we'll see what happens here. He's got a mark there. He needs to get a mark here, and he does. He does. He gets his spare. We're going to the 9th frame. 9th frame coming up. Through 6 frames, Norm Duke up 137 to 120, but Earl Anthony coming off a double here. So this is big. Duke needs to get a good mark here. Probably wouldn't hurt to get a strike. 7. Yes, indeed. That's a strike. And that will put him at 175 through 8 frames. But now, what happens with Earl Anthony? Earl Anthony now steps up to the 9th frame. This is big. He needs a lot of pins here on this one. Yeah, he got them. He got all of them. So that's a triple. That's 150 through 7 frames, and now he will be in the lead if he strikes. If he gets a strike here, if he gets a strike, Earl Anthony will be in the lead here. See what he does. 10th frame. 5. Yes, indeed. Boom. 180. He's got a 5-pin lead. And Earl Anthony, if he strikes out, will win this match. Second shot here at 10. Second roll. 15. No, indeed. He is not going to do it. He's not going to strike out. He gets a 9. He gets a 9. 29 there will be 209. This is going to be close, folks. Now, can he finish up? Yep, he does get to spare. He ends up with a 229, 229. So Norm Duke right now forced to get us. Let's see, be 20, be 195. Yeah, he's pretty much forced to get a strike right here. Norm needs a strike. 16 with a 3. That's 9 pins. We'll see if he can mark here. Oh, a U. 20 with a U. Yeah. Now, this one could be something now. Let's see what happens here. 61. Problem with new equipment. +1 on the D20 rolls the rest of the game. Not good. All right. So we have to add 1 to the 20 rolls. That is not good. So let's see if he can get, let's see, 11. That'll be 12. That's still a mark. That's 20. That is 195. Now, can he win? No, he cannot win. He cannot win. Earl Anthony is going to win this match. Earl Anthony, 13 with a 5. And that is a strike indeed. But 215 is the best he can do. 215 to 229. Earl Anthony. Earl Anthony will. Do you have videos on your page, Keith? So Earl Anthony will move on to the finals. The lefty. And we'll see what happens there. It should be good. The lefty is doing all he can do here, and he is playing well. So now, who is going to face him? Chris Barnes, Pete Weber. All right, Chris Barnes bowled a 257 earlier, and now, and let's see, Pete Weber a 236. So Chris Barnes starting this day in the 8th place. He will go first now, though. He will go first. So let's see what happens. Chris Barnes, Pete Weber, take a winner. And the winner will be against Earl Anthony. So Earl Anthony will be in the finals here. How about that? Earl Anthony will make the finals here in week 1 here at Los Angeles, California. John Wise says he's putting on his Pete Weber sunglasses. So they're wanting Weber against Earl Anthony. I'm going to pick Chris Barnes here. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Chris Barnes wins this one. But we'll see. We'll see. Chris Barnes now, he will go first. Not like that. 19 and a 6. Ooh, it's going to be a Y result. Not very good there. I don't think 22. Starts off with a 6. Chris Barnes does. 6. So anybody wanting Pete Weber, that is a good start for you. 5 with a 5. 6. Let's see what kind of he's a spare. Yeah, he gets a spare. So Chris Barnes, 6 pins. How about that? That's all he gets, and he does clean up his mess. Pete Weber now. Pete Weber, 6, and that's a strike. That's a strike, Pete Weber. He goes to the 2nd frame now. 2nd frame, Pete Weber. 3. Yes, indeed, another strike. And he's got a little board over there with 12 strike marks, and he's got 2 of them circled. That takes a lot of guts, guys, to do that. But he's circled 2 already. He is hoping for the perfect game. Let's see what happens here. Chris Barnes now, second frame. Chris Barnes, 11 with a 5. Strike. That's a strike, but he is behind. All right, let's see what's going to happen. Barnes now, third frame. 17 with a 4. That's only 8 pins, and that he could ill afford that. He really could not afford that. He needs to pick it up, and yes, he will. He will, but only gets 20 pins more there, and that's not very good. Pete Weber now. Weber is just he's just stepping right up. Let's see what he can do here. Pete Weber. Oh, no. 7 pins. 7 pins is all he gets his first roll with a 20 right there. And let's see, 14 with a 6. He gets his spare. So 7 pin difference now for Pete Weber. He will go to the 4th frame. 18 with a 4. And that's 8 pins. That is not a strike by any stretch of the imagination. And he's looking to clean up his mess. 20 and a 3. Ooh, he just does clean it up. And he will, 18 pins there, 67 be 65. So, Chris Barnes now. Chris Barnes, let's see what he's going to do. He is stepping up here to the 4th frame. 14 with a 2. 9 pins. 9 pins, 19 be 59. He is 6 back right now. He definitely needs to clean this mess up. He does it and gets his spare. Chris Barnes now steps over to the 5th frame, but we have a good match here. Chris Barnes, Pete Weber, 6 pin lead by Weber. 4. That's a strike. That is a strike. 79 there now. So Weber needs he needs to really keep it going here. So let's see what he can do here in the 5th frame. 5 with a 5. Strike. Yes, indeed. And he keeps a 6-pin lead. 6-pin lead. He goes over to the 6th frame. What's up, Phillip? 11 with a 3. Yes, sir. Strike. Pete Weber. Chris Barnes now. It's like he is just going to try to outduel him here. Let's see what he can do. 2. That's a strike right there. Chris Barnes. And these two guys, with only a 6-pin difference, Barnes knows he better do it and do it quick. 20 with a 5. That's not going to do it. 7 there, 27 there, instead of 82 or 70. It'll be 107, be 106. All right, 106 right there. But Weber coming off the double. So let's see, 20 with a 5. Yep, 7. And that is a spare. So that's 20 more, be 126. Pete Weber now steps up to the 7th frame. Let's see what happens. 11, strike. That is a strike. That's 115. That'll be 9-pin difference there. And now, let's see what he can do here to 8th frame. Pete Weber. Strike once again. 145, and now it's a 19-pin lead. And Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes now. Let's see what he can do. 14 on a 1. Strike. So it's a 146, and yeah. He has got Chris Barnes going to the 9th. Needs a strike. In some serious trouble. No, he gets a strike, though. He gets his strike. Now Pete Weber. Pete Weber can almost close this match out with a strike. Let's see what he can do here in the 9th frame. Strike. Yes, indeed. 175. He has got a 29-pin lead. And going to the 10th frame. Barnes, though, coming off a double. So let's see what Weber can do. 6 with us. Oh, and that is not what he needs. 8 pins. Not going to continue the marks there. 28 would be 203 right there. Now, he needs to mark big time here. 16 with a 6. He does get his mark. He does get his mark. Goes to 223. Barnes forced to have to strike out, it looks like. Pete Weber now. Final shot, strike. And he will get a 243. 243, is that in his sights? And let's see. 70. I don't even think he can win even if he strikes out. I don't think he can win if he strikes out. Barnes. What's the most strikes in a row on your games, Rob? I got 9. Let's see. The other day with Keith here, I got 10. 10 or 11. 10. And then the 11th shot was rolled a 280 something, 270 something like that. But we got 11 in a row. So that's the best I've done yet. So let's see what Barnes can do. I don't think he can win. 18 on a 2. He's not going to win now with that. 28 with that. Leaves a 174. And now he's got to get his spare. 4. He does get a spare 20 with 194. And now let's see if he can get a strike. He can strike out and get a 214. Whoop. 214 with a strike. Gets it. He does do that. 214. But that is not 243. Pete Weber. Pete Weber moves on with Earl Anthony in the finals, folks. Pete Weber, Earl Anthony will be in the finals here in just a few minutes. Pete Weber shot 236 and 243. Earl Anthony shot 233, 229 is what he has shot tonight here at this tournament. LA, round 1 of 10 rounds. Next week, Seattle. Seattle is where we'll be coming from next week. I may not even do a pre-match thing. I may just draw them out of a hat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But Pete Weber, Earl Anthony here in the finals. Anyone that would like to be on the channel after this is over with, will probably be, another 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. You're more than welcome to come on the channel. I can stay on for a few minutes. It's only 9:20 right now. So let's see. John Wise says 6 strikes is his record. 3 in a row in real life and bowled a 146. That is great for me. I once bowled 7 strikes in a row over in Lynchburg, Virginia, AMF, a long time ago. But I did get 7 in a row. All righty. Pete Weber will go first. Yep. Yeah, I heard about that, Chicago. Heard about that. Yep. So, let's put this more in the middle. All righty. So, if you're rooting for one, root for one. If you're not rooting for one, just have fun, guys. You want low 20s, and you love the 1s. Now, if you're going to see a 20 and a 6 on here, a 20 here and a 6 on here, that's a special roll. If they're rolling the first roll, that can make somebody an awesome bowler or make somebody a sucky bowler. So we may see a 20 and a 6. Who knows? But that would have to be on first rolls only. Pete Weber, Earl Anthony. Here are the finals of the LA AMF Bowl Tournament 1. All right. Tourney number 1, and we'll see what happens here. Pete Weber. He is hoping for the best here. Ranked number 5 this week, and Earl Anthony ranked number 2 this week. Pete Weber steps up to the first frame, and here we go. That will be a 15 with a 3, and that will be 9 pins to start off for Pete Weber. 9 pins, and let's see if he can pick up his mark. He does. And a spare for Pete Weber. What set of cards is this, Rob? Dwayne, I used different names. I marked different names off. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. I made my own set out of some of the other bowlers. I made my own set. Okay. So, not stepping on any toes or anything, but I just didn't want a fictional set. I wanted people, so I tried to line them up as good as I could. And Walter Ray Williams Jr. Is pretty much the best in the set, and he's been beaten a lot. So it's all a matter of the rolls. It really is. But these right here are kind of quote unquote a homebrew set to an effect, but I kind of set them up with the ratings and averages and stuff, kind of like the way they played when they actually played. Earl Anthony now. Earl Anthony will step up to the first frame. Pete Weber got a mark in the first. That's a 12 with a 2. That will be a strike, Earl Anthony. And all the lefties in here. Who do you think are the top 4 best bowlers of all time? I like Walter Ray Williams Jr. I like Earl Anthony. I like Jason Belmonte. And wow. Who else? Wow. Earl Anthony, Walter Ray Williams Jr., Pete Weber, Jason Belmonte. That's the ones. That's who I have. I know Belmonte has the most wins, but Walter Ray Williams Jr. to me, just anytime he needed to bowl a great game, was able to pull it out. So to me, he's number 1. Jason Belmonte is right there, though. Yep. So Earl Anthony comes out with a strike on the first frame, and he goes to the second. Here we go. 12 and a 4. Strike. Earl Anthony comes out 2 quick strikes. Where does Don Carter rank? Who's a younger guy who bowls two-handed? Jason Belmonte has done it. Jason Belmonte has bowled two-handed, and so has Chris Barnes. Chris Barnes I think he's the one that does it now, though. I think Chris Barnes is the guy that does it with 2 hands now. I think. Yeah. So Earl Anthony now, coming off of 2 strikes, he sits down. Pete Weber. Yeah, I think Belmonte started, but I think, and Anthony Simonson too. Okay, Anthony Simonson as well. Thank you, Chicago. Pete Weber steps up. Anybody rooting for Earl Anthony? We got to hope for a high number here. Let's see what happens. But no, indeed, that's a strike for Pete Weber. Pete Weber strikes here in the second frame. He steps over to the third frame now. And you can see determination in Pete Weber's eyes. Strike. Pete Weber strikes again here at number 3. So he's coming off a double. And Earl Anthony, he kind of does like this to him, says, your turn. Your turn, my friend. So Earl Anthony steps up to the third frame. 20 with a 3. No, indeed. That's a 7. He's got a 7-pin lead now, and he needs to definitely pick this up. 7 plus. Earl Anthony needs to pick up this 6. Yes, indeed. He will pick up the spare, but Earl Anthony really did not want that there. I think you have the 2 best in the finals right now, Anthony and Weber. Okay, very cool. So Earl Anthony now, he steps up to the 4th frame with just a mark in the 3rd. 1 with a 2. Yes, indeed, a strike. Earl Anthony. Earl Anthony now, through 3 frames, has 67 pins. Pete Weber now. Pete Weber. None. 0. Pete Weber now in the 4th frame. 15 with a 5. That's 9 pins. Wow. 49. And Pete Weber takes a 2-pin lead. 2-pin lead for Pete Weber. But let's see if he can get his spare. He does. He does. The spare there, 69. A 2-pin lead for Pete Weber. Goes to the 5th frame. Kyle Troop, yeah. Kyle Troop. I've got him. Yeah, I've got him on the tour here too. Kyle Troop. I do. I have 10 bowlers. Pete Weber. Here we go. Strike Pete Weber, and he has 89 pins through 4. Earl Anthony now coming off a strike. The lefties, 3 out of 4. He's got strikes. And he gets a 1-1. Hey, you can't get any better than that. That's a strike all night long. Now he steps over to the 6th frame. He wipes the ball down one time, and he lets her go. 10 with a 3. Yes, indeed, another strike. Yes, indeed, another strike. Earl Anthony now with an 8-pin lead, going to the 6th for Pete Weber. Weber coming off a strike. 19 and a 4. No, indeed, that's a 7. That is not what he needed. Not what he needed. Earl Anthony's looking very good at this point. Looking very good. 17 plus 15 and 4. Yep, that is a spare, but not good for Pete Weber. Now he's going to the 7th frame. 7th frame, Pete Weber. Ooh, that's a 15. Is it a 15 and a 6? 7 pins. That is not what you want if you're Weber. He needs a spare in the worst way here. 17 with a 6. He just did get his spare. Oh, my goodness. Earl Anthony now. Earl Anthony coming off a double. Coming off a double. Strike again. Strike, my friends. 127. And that is an 18-pin lead right now, going to the 8th frame. Going to the 8th. 15 with a 2, 9 pins. Oh, that is not what he wanted to see. 29. That is 156. 30-pin lead right now. And he's got to pick up the spare. 14. Yes, that is a spare. 176. So now Pete Weber. He is forced. He's forced now. All right, John, have a good one. He's got to get a strike here. Pete Weber does. Whoops. All right, that's not a bad roller. 19, that's a bad roller. 7. 17 with that is 143, and he's in serious dire straits now. Serious dire straits. 20 with a 2. Just did pick it up. Oh, my gosh. Now he'll go to the 9th frame. 9th frame, Pete Weber. Strike. Strike. Strike for Pete Weber. Earl Anthony. Pretty much anything, as long as he marks, he should be good. 17 with a 6. That's a wide result. That is not what he wanted. 15 at his 6 pins. Earl Anthony, he just does not want to do this now. 6 pins. Very good. He's very good at picking up the spares. And he did. He did. So 16 there. There's 192. So he lost a little bit there, but Earl Anthony now. How well will he do at number 10? How well will he do at number 10, 10th frame? Anthony. 2 with a 1. That's a strike. And that is 212 so far. So the best he can do is a 242. So he needs to strike out here. He love a strike. 19 with a 1. Strike. Earl Anthony gets another one. This can put the nail in the coffin here. Earl Anthony, if he can get a strike here, it's over, folks. It is officially over if he can get this one. 19 with a 3. No, it's an 8. Oh, my gosh. 28, 240. 240. Wow. I still think it's over with, though. I think even if Pete Weber strikes out, he cannot win this match. But let's see. 18-3, not going to matter. That's an 8. That is only an 8. Earl Anthony. Earl Anthony will be your winner. Earl Anthony wins with a 240 tonight. Pete Weber rolls and bowls out and gets himself a 203. 203, 240. Earl Anthony is your champion tonight. The lefty comes through and makes it happen tonight in LA. Seattle, we may have a different surface. I don't know exactly how it'll be, but definitely could be different next week. So you want to be watching that. I'm gonna maybe try to start having that on Monday nights. If you like Monday night, we may do Monday night bowling. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bowlers. I gotta find my other 2. There's 7 and 8 right there. Yeah. So Earl Anthony wins tonight. Second place comes Pete Weber. Third place, Norm Duke, just by 1 pin over Chris Barnes. And then let's see. Fifth place is Jason Belmonte. Parker Bone Jr. is 6th. And who didn't come out the first round? Walter Ray Williams Jr. comes in 8th. Wow. Mark Roth 7th. So they're going to have to really pick it up next week. If you've never seen the game before, it's called Bowl-O-Rama. It's not very difficult at all. Scoring may be a little difficult if you start. The charts may be a little overwhelming at first. It's not a very difficult game at all. So definitely, everything is based pretty much on this row right here. The first little row right that next to the 1 is would be a 1-1. Then 1, so it'd be 2 through 5, and then the 6th row is that last doom row. Doom row. And that's a mean row there. That's a row that can really mess you up if you get a lot of 6s on it. So that's what you got to watch out for. Should be a lot of fun going forward. Was asked about this game and see if I would play it. And I said, yep, I will play it. We will see how this goes. We'll try probably 3 weeks of it. And if this is really picks up and goes, I will continue with it and go 10 weeks. And top place gets 8 points. Last place gets 1 point week to week. So if you came in second place tonight, you still get 7 points. So it's not very bad as long as you make it to the finals. So, yeah. Seattle, then we'll go from Seattle to Denver. From Denver, we'll make the hike down all the way down to Dallas. Dallas will go up to St. Louis. St. Louis will go to Chicago to play. Chicago will go to Cleveland to play. Cleveland will make the run over to Pittsburgh. We're skipping Cincinnati. I know Bengals fans are not going to like it. Pittsburgh will go to Philly. And whoever wins gets a Rob Cup. Yeah, they can win. And Philly, we're going to end up everything at Richmond, Virginia. So we'll see what happens there and see how much fun we can have doing that. Anybody tonight, if you have any questions on any games that I've played in the past or I have shown you guys, you can definitely pose them to me tonight. I can try to answer them. If I can't answer them, I can at least find somebody that maybe can answer them for you. I know so often we come on here and just talk and just shoot the breeze. Tonight, we're going to talk more about games and how they're played. Bowl-O-Rama, very quick. You saw I went through how many games? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 head-to-head matches in an hour and a half. So not very different. Which of the games that you played the last year on your channel do you think you would do the best in a tournament? For the record, he only farted once last week. Yeah. The rest was poots. Chicago, I've done red, white, and blue racing on the channel. If you haven't seen it, the YRL YouTube Racing League with my subscribers as drivers, and I've liked it from the start. Dwayne March picked it up, and he has been running with it since. We got Division 1 and Division 2, and he is running with it big time. Did you play the last year on your channel? Do you think would be the best in a tournament? This bowling game is really good. It plays tournament really well. Soccer, if you're going to play tournament soccer, you're pretty much going to play one game, one match, whatever, and then wait another day or two or whatever. This with bowling, you can run through it pretty quickly. You can run through it really quick. I didn't really, sit there and explain shot by shot. Just the main thing is, if you get low numbers on the 20-sided die, and if you get low numbers on the 6-sided die, if you get 1-1s, it's really good. It really is good. It's really good. Boxing, obviously, yeah, I've done boxing. Glory Days boxing. I've had middleweight tournaments and I've had heavyweight tournaments on my channel. I think I like the middleweights better. The heavyweights I think they tend a lot of times to kind of lag a little bit, especially if it goes later rounds. The middleweights, a lot of times, they can still wallop and pop, especially with the ones we got. You got Hearns, you got Hagler, you got Leonard, you got Duran. The middleweights in boxing, it's really, really a fun tournament. You got Vito Antuofermo. You pick yourself a good 16 out of there, and you can have some upsets. You really can. But to me personally, I think Marvin Hagler is the best boxer, especially middleweight, ever. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people will not agree with me. Any Sugar Ray Leonard fans out there, Sugar Ray Robinson fans, mostly he was a little light heavyweight or either in a different class for a while. Sugar Ray Robinson was before my time. I didn't really see him fight that much. But Marvin Hagler, to me, middleweight, would stand in there with anybody, and enjoyed my 4-King middleweight tournament. Yeah, Dwayne's done a few boxing tournaments. He's done a boxing tournament, and he's I think Hagler. I think to me Hagler probably is the best middleweight that I ever witnessed fighting. The best heavyweight that I ever witnessed a fight. That's going to be really tough. I didn't see Ali in his best days. I really didn't. Ali, his best days were behind him by the 80s. Obviously, Mike Tyson came with a fury when he did come, and he also came with a lot of baggage. Talking about Mike Tyson. But you very seldom bet against him in his day. In his heyday, you didn't bet against him very often. He had a lot of personal problems. He had, problems at home, problems within his camp a lot of times. Once his trainer died, pretty much his world flipped over in front of him, and he was just never the same. I don't think. That's my opinion. Customato, to me, was the biggest influence in Mike Tyson's career for the positive, and he had a lot of negatives after that. And to me, when Customato was there with him, he was a force. He was a force. He had his head screwed on pretty well. He fought well. He was not anybody. Was not a Holmes fan, but looking back, he was one of the best, and got to see him a lot. Holmes was a fighter that would he would bully. He was a bully. And that's what's kind of what you want to see happen. And yeah, he was tough. The Eastern Assassin, Larry Holmes, he was tough. He was tough. There were a few of them. There were a few boxers. And look, you can laugh all you want to, folks. I know a lot of people are gonna laugh when I say this. George Foreman fought until he was 50-something years old and beat guys half his age. Foreman was a likable guy. Foreman was a guy. The Cubs and Astros 2019 payoff pitch. Me and Keith played 5 games here. We still got 2 games left. Yeah, payoff pitch. Yeah, payoff pitch. So we can definitely finish that any night you guys would like to see it. I have to get in touch with him first, and we can get on here on Jabroni Network, and we can do it on definitely on StreamYard. We can StreamYard, and won't have a problem with that at all. Like I was saying, yeah, we'll definitely do it. To me, he was a tough guy. He was a tough guy. If you really want to dig into it, how about Holyfield? Now, Holyfield was a lighter guy. He was a lighter heavyweight. Yeah, he wasn't as big as some of these other guys, but look at his record as a heavyweight. He was a true heavyweight, and he could fight. He could fight. He didn't step back. Are you using the trash cans, Rob? Oh wow, Rangers up 3-0. Are you using the trash cans? I have to figure out what you guys are talking about now. Tomato can boxers. That's the ones I used to call the ones who couldn't fight. Tomato cans. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, trash cans steal signs. I got you. I think Astros wanted the 2 Darvish starts for the Cubs. Yeah, Houston. Oh, I got you. Steal signs. No, it ain't done me no good. It's done me no good yet. Yeah, it's done me no good. I got Verlander going game 6. I got Verlander. We'll see what happens. He's got Hendricks, I think, going game 6. Hendricks against Verlander is going to be good. If you go and check that 2019, who would be a good boxer to see fight Tyson Fury right now? Yeah, Hendricks. I thought the Cubs have Hendricks. That's what I thought. Tyson Fury right now, I think he's the best fighter in the world. Any class. Tyson Fury is tough. I really don't know, Chicago. I really don't know who you would put up against him right now. He's not built like a Greek god by any stretch. He's just not. He's 6'9". It weighs about 280, and he can carry all that weight big time. He's just a big damn guy. I mean, he's one of the biggest heavyweights we've ever seen in our generation ever to carry the heavyweight title. I mean, he's huge. You see him step out on the stage, and generally his head is about that much taller, in comparison. Not an inch or two, but I mean, all right, Keith, have a good one, my friend. But he has a tendency. He has a tendency of what's up, Tim? What's going on, Tim? He has a tendency of really, I think, putting the pressure on somebody just by looking at them. That's my opinion. I don't see anybody out there right now that I think Fury would have a lot of problems with. I just don't see it. The guy from England, no. I just don't see him beating him. No. Watching this dumpster fire of a hockey game so far, 3-0. Don't count it. How much time's left? If it's much as half of this game is left, don't count out Carolina. don't count Carolina out yet. Carolina is the type of team. They're tough. They are a tough team. 45 seconds left in the second. 3-0. Don't bet the house on them winning this losing this game tonight. They can put a lot together, but I know the NHL wants the Rangers to win. If the Rangers win, they get home ice advantage too. You guys do realize that. The winner of this game gets home ice over Tampa. Okay. So the winner of this game will have home ice starting in the Eastern Conference Finals. All bets are off when you get this far along. Tampa's off 9 days. They get 9 days before they play. I don't know. To me, I tend to like the team that's playing tonight, whichever, for a couple of games. So the Rangers have got to play well at home if they do win this series. They've got to play well at home. They cannot come out flat the first two and let Tampa win both of them and then go home. Tampa's going to roll them. But if New York can come out and play well in game one, let's say they win that one. Then game two, they play tough. Let's say they lose it. They still have already kind of put the precedent in game one that we're not taking any bull. That really, going back to Tyson Fury, it's going to be 3 to 4 years before Wilder gets another rematch, if he ever does. I don't think Wilder can do nothing with him. I just don't. If he's the best out there, I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Fury took his best punch upside the face, and he beat him pretty well. He beat Wilder. Now, I think there's other guys better than Wilder out there. That's my opinion. Didn't Tyson Fury say he was retired from boxing? And he could. He could. I wouldn't blame him if he did. I mean, when you're making $40 million, $50 million, $60 million in a fight, how much more money do you need, folks? I realize 10, 15% of that is cut off the top for your trainer, advisors, and all that type stuff. That's cut off the top. But still, $50 million cut 5 off, that's not a problem. There's another big money fight for Fury out there. I really don't know. I really don't know. Can the guy from Europe fight him? What's his name? The big guy, the big kid. He's 6'7", but he's still not as big as Tyson Fury. What's a guy's name that's from England? And everybody was like, yeah, Fury would have some problems with this guy. I don't necessarily think so. But I think that would be the best fight out there probably right now. If he's still fighting. I don't even know if the kid's still Drew McIntyre in WWE. What's the guy's name? Somebody know? I don't know his name. That's the reason I can't even say it. I don't even know. But he's from England. The other kid's from England too. And that would probably be the best. Fury will not be taking any bumps. Anthony Joshua. Yeah, Anthony Joshua. Yeah. And you see, to me, if you're going to do it, do it right. Right? Take it and go to Dallas with it and fight in the Cowboys' house. That's what I would do. You go to Dallas, Texas. If the regulations are all there in Dallas, I don't know if Texas. I don't know their regulations. Or go to where the Raiders play. Don't go to this facility that holds 8,000 people. Don't do that. Go to a place that holds 50,000. Let them fight. Why not? Right? You don't have to. Trust me, if you're going to Vegas and you're going to the fight, you don't have to have the best seat there. And you don't, and you're not going to get the best seat there for a couple $100. But when you're talking 104,000 people, or that would be Dallas, probably 75, 80,000 in Vegas. Sell at the Raiders Stadium. Yeah. It would sell out. And the thing of it is, look, if they did it, and let's say both guys were healthy, Joshua and Fury. Number one, make sure both of them are healthy. Let's don't come out here with a clown match. We don't want one of the guys who, I was hurt all the time, after it's over with. You go to both of them and say, look, we need both of you 100%. Okay? Now we're going to market this bad boy for the next 3 months. We're going to market it for 3 months. Put it in late fall. Okay? Put it, I don't know, right, when one of the off weeks of the Raiders. Don't have them fighting in 108 degrees. Don't have them fighting like that. Have them fighting when it's a little bit cooler in Vegas. And everybody likes it better. Everybody would like it better. It's a lot more fun to go to Vegas when it's not 105 degrees out there. Have it in nice times. And, why not? It's not a lot to clean up. It's not like you got a big monster truck rally going. It's a boxing match. Yeah, MJF got squashed. I heard about that. Yeah, I'm hearing he's going to WWE. I keep hearing that. I hope not. I hope he stays where he's at. But I've also heard different things. I've also heard he's going to bring a Terminator in or whatever to take care of the guy. Whatever. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. It should be good. It should be fun. But I didn't watch it. I can't say I watched it. But it should be interesting. But if they did sell out the Raiders Stadium in Vegas, Fury and Joshua, they could pick up the heavyweight division so far. So far. And not fight at MGM. Not fight at New York. Yeah. All those casinos want them to fight at their casino. But if they fight down in the football facility, future fights at these other places will be huge. Have a six match card. Let's see if TK puts a 90-day no compete clause if MJF wants out of his contract. Glad I didn't go to the theater to watch AEW last night. Hearing card, yeah. Yeah, he's still got a year and a half left on his contract. He's not going to let him out of his contract right now. Yeah, he would make MJF. MJF is not even a top 10 pay right now. From what I understand, he is still making MLW money, which is nuts. So what they should do, if they're going to do it right. Go to him now and say, look, this is what we'll pay you. He may not want to do that, but as a danger to that, because Kenny Omega has been hurt. He's been hurt all year. They need Kenny Omega back, and they need to bring some of the Japanese back too. I'm with you. And they're not really. I mean, they're giving a little bit of a push to the guy that came from WWE. What's his name? We'll get back to that in a second, Chicago. The guy that came from WWE, his wife is a dentist and all that. To me, they need to give him a bigger push. so many people say he's not that good a wrestler, though. I think he's a great wrestler. I like watching him fight. When he broke away from the clique or whatever you call it back in ROH, Adam Cole, Adam Cole. When he broke away from the brothers and all those guys, I thought he really did something for himself. I thought it was just the best possible way he could do it. I didn't think his trip to WWE was going to help him. I don't think it did help him. And just like Cody, I don't know what Cody's doing now. Cody would have been a lot better to stay put. They offered him so much money to stay at AEW, but WWE offered him a boatload more. But he's definitely, to me, he's not a top 5 talent in AEW. Cody, I'm talking about. WWE is overpaying for some of these guys they're getting. Now, if they're able to get MJF, he's probably the best talent they've got. They need to get rid of the circus they got going on with this little jungle boy and the guy wearing the mask. Get the mask off the face. Let him paint his face, whatever he wants to do. Luchasaurus or whatever. Just call him by his name. Whatever. Take the mask off his face. Let them wrestle. That's becoming a joke watching those two jabronis. That's just, to me, that's not good marketing. The Hardys, you got the Revival. The Briscoes, Jurassic Express, they should have lost. You're right. I don't understand what they're doing with them. I really don't. They're giving them the extra big push. Now, it may be where their contract is running out soon, and they want to test, like, okay, would Vince actually pay these jabronis, millions of dollars? If so, let them go. That may be his thinking. I don't know, but I think it's an overpaid deal there for those guys. It's so many factions right now. I like the Briscoes. I really do. I love to watch the Briscoes. I like watching the Briscoes. NWA right now, to me, is as good a wrestling as there is. He's already had Luchasaurus. Okay. I like the NWA right now, where they're going, as good as anybody. Their champion, he plays it up to a T. His wife, Chelsea Green, is out there as well. She's not a bad wrestler. They got the Brick House. Camille is a women's champion. She is an excellent women's champion. She's probably the best women's champion out there right now. She just plays a badass, and she's really, really, to me, she's the best women's champion out there. I love watching her wrestle. She is excellent. Kaylee Farmer is her name, but they call her the Brick House Camille. The guy that was the NWA champion, Nick Aldis, very good. I mean, he's a good wrestler. I'm not a big Trevor Murdoch fan, but the NWA right now really has a lot of talent. Mike Bennett, they really do. They have a lot of good talent there. What wrestlers need to retire? Ric Flair. Ric Flair does not need to wrestle at 72. I'm sorry. If you want to watch greatness, go watch Ric Flair in the 80s. Okay? That's what you want to do. You want to watch him taking on Steamboat in 89, not 22. And thank goodness Steamboat turned that match down. I'm so glad he did. I realize he wants to make reported $740,000. Whatever he makes, it's. I'm sorry, it's just too much. It's too much. They do not need. If you want to pay him to manage somebody, the sad part is Dustin Rhodes looks better in his 50s than most of these cats. Dustin Rhodes is a better wrestler now than he was 10 years ago. Yeah, good night. Dustin Rhodes is a better wrestler right now. He was not that good a wrestler in WWE. He's a better wrestler than anyone. I think he's as good as his brother is. That's me. I think he is. I really do. Um, there's some, Jericho. Jericho needs to slide back a little bit. Jericho's best wrestling days are behind him. I'm probably gonna hurt feelings when I say that. Jericho to me needs to be the once a month wrestler, something like that. In the next 6 months, which wrestlers from AEW go to WWE? It wouldn't surprise me to see those tag team champions, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, go over. If they're, but I don't know exactly whose contract gives up. MJF will not be over there in the next 6 months. I'll promise you that. He's going to do whatever he can to keep him. Okay, he's going to do what he can to keep him. I'm all for Jericho giving the rub to those guys, but maybe time to give Hager a small push. Yeah, Jake Hager. Jake Hager does not. I don't know how much he wants to wrestle either. I know he has said it's almost been 2 months since Roman Reigns has defended his title. I read something today about Roman Reigns. I read something. I know The Rock's daughter starts wrestling. What do they call her? Elena Rain or something? Elena Rain. Somebody help me out there. I saw her name already. WWE is obviously going to say that's The Rock's daughter. They're going to say that. But I saw her name today. It popped up on my email. They just named her, give her name in the last week and a half, and they released it. I don't know what day they released it, but somebody I'm sure has it. He's not wrestling tonight. Yeah, Roman Reigns, something's up. I don't know exactly what's happened, but I read something about Roman Reigns. I don't know exactly what has happened with him. Last time he defended his title, April 2nd. You see, most of them have these clauses where it's 30 days or Ava Rain. Yeah, Ava Rain. That's it. Yeah, Ava Rain. And give her a chance. I don't have a problem with it at all. That's a Rock's daughter. That's fine. Don't play the Rock's music for her. Please don't. Give her her own style and own ways. They tried to force Ric Flair on us with his daughter. That didn't. To me, it didn't work. His daughter's great, but she had to go her own style, her own way. He's cutting back on his dates. Is that what you're gonna say? Rob, if you could be a manager for any wrestler, man, I tell you, there's been wrestlers I would have loved to have been manager for. I would have loved to have been manager for Sergeant Slaughter's troops in NWA. Sergeant Slaughter, Private Canoodle, Private Nelson. I liked him. I was always a big Sergeant Slaughter guy. He was he played a heel. That would have been great. That would have been great to manage him. If you wanted to wrestle a singles wrestler, there's singles wrestlers I really, really like, but I think it would have taken away from him by having a manager. I like Disco Inferno. He didn't need a manager. Disco Inferno was better going out being a dumbass, doing his own thing without a manager kind of holding him back. Charlotte Flair got married. But I would have loved to have, kind of like Jericho when he had Ralphus. You see, a lot of people said that was not good. To me, it was gold. Ralphus helped make Jericho what he is now. You can say what you want to about it. Ralphus said nothing. But when he would come to the ring and have his shirt cut off about halfway through his stomach, yeah. Like Cesaro. Yeah. But I liked Ralphus. Ralphus was cool. If you could choose 8 wrestlers all time to compete in King of the Ring tournament, Ric Flair, Triple H, Nick Bockwinkel, wow, Ricky Steamboat, Magnum TA, Nikita Koloff, Kurt Hennig, a couple more. Let's see. Kevin Nash, and wow, Iron Sheik. Iron Sheik. In their days, they all had their things going on. Now they would all have had to been there in a different time frame and all. Flair. You see, I wasn't a Bret Hart fan. I was not a Bret Hart fan at all. Luther's awesome. Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes picked the house up. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not a bad list. I just was not a Bret Hart fan. That was just me. I didn't like watching Bret Hart wrestle. Steve Austin. Steve Austin and The Rock, to me, were more not such good wrestlers to watch, great performers to watch. That's just me. That's the old school coming out of me. But yeah, Dusty Rhodes was an out of shape pig farmer from Texas, and yeah, what was one of the top 10 talents of all time. If you wanted to just sell it. Oh yeah. Steve Austin then, yeah. Stunning Steve Austin. He was a better wrestler in WCW than he was in WWE. I think he was. Oh, I'll tell you another guy. How about the guy that died? Chris Benoit. Oh my God. If you ever watch Chris Benoit wrestle, jeez. Brian Pillman too. Brian Pillman was a good wrestler. Chris Benoit, oh my God. Yeah, after Owen Hart broke his neck, he was screwed. Yeah. But to me, Chris Benoit, if you ever watch Chris Benoit wrestle, Jabronis 1 through 8. Oh wow. Just true jabronis. Oh, you want just trash dumps. And it's just like, okay, they would have never had to wrestle ever in their life or whatever. And look, I liked the guys that I liked the ones that got stretched, like the Morkies and stuff like that. I like the jobbers, so they're not jabronis in my book. George South, those type of guys, they're not jabronis in my book. Some of the guys that couldn't wrestle, top 8 worst wrestlers of all time. Ranger Rick, was that his name? Ranger, I think it was his name, Ranger Rick. He was awful. Buckhouse Buck, he was terrible. People, Barry Horowitz, he was a good jobber. He did his job. He did everything else. Bunkhouse Buck, he was terrible. Yeah, Tom Zink was not really a lot of fun to watch either. Let's see who else. Who else was not really good to watch? Just when they came out there, was really bad. I wasn't crazy about that guy. what the hell was his name? He liked to box. Oh man, what was his name? Oh, he come into boxing all the time. James Ellsworth. This was the guy that was married to the girl in WCW. What the hell was his name? He was always real tanned up. Shit. What was his name? Oh, I liked Ernest Miller. I liked what somebody. Let's see how do you say it? No, this guy was a boxing guy. You know, he was a boxing guy. Oh, Mark Merrow. Yeah, I didn't like him. Yeah, he went by another name in WCW. What the hell? I can't think what the hell he went by. I liked Ernest Miller. Somebody watch out. I'm about ready to whoop somebody. Somebody call my mama. I'm about ready to whoop somebody. He was funny. He was funny. Bart Gunn, not one of my favorites. Let's see. Who else? Oh, I like Gilbert. Johnny B. Bad. Yeah. Looked like Little Richard. Yeah. Buff Bagwell, he was fun. He was fun, especially when he brought his mom out there a little bit. Got his ass whipped a couple times. I like that big muscle guy too with Buff Bagwell. Not Steiner, but the other guy. I can't think of his name. He was a good wrestler. He was a good wrestler in Japan, and he eventually came over here and made a name for himself. What was his name? He was, built like a damn tank. Scott Norton, yeah, Scott Flash Norton. He was good. I liked him. Not a huge fan of Bagwell, but he was funny when he wanted to be. I like that little let's say Gilbert. I really liked him. I thought that was funny as everything. Dwayne Gill, he was funny. Let's see who else. Now I'll tell you one that was a good wrestler in NWA. Then they took him to WWE. The Rooster, the Red Rooster. Come on, he was up here doing this bullshit. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. The Red Rooster. He was a good wrestler. He was a good wrestler in the South, and he wrestled really well, but they just messed him up. They really messed him up. Now he's got a job with WWE. I think he's like a promotions guy or something like that. Yeah, he's more into some other stuff now. Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster. Yeah. What are the top 5 funniest batting stances in baseball history? You had to laugh at Rod Carew had a wild looking one. There's a few. Brian Downing. Go check his stance out. Really wide open. Dave Winfield. A lot of times when he had his back to the pitcher, he was wild looking too. Joe Morgan pumped like he was pumping a water. Tony Batista, yeah. Joe Morgan. Tony Batista, yeah. Brian Downing, he and Batista, yeah. Winfield was a big guy. Really was. Jeff Bagwell, yeah, Bagwell. He had some weird stances. He did. But most of them could hit. You don't get picked on and saying that's a stupid stance if you bat 300 or if you hit 500 home runs or if you make a Hall of Fame. It's not too funny then. Wrestling all time for me, 4-0. It's over with. That game is over. Wrestling for me, to me, the best years of wrestling for me, because I watched the events were from like 80 to 86, 80 to 85. somewhere along that era. Ole Anderson, Gene Anderson, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, uh, Youngblood, Jay Youngblood, the Briscoes, Jerry and Jack. Um, it, it was some tough guys back in them days. Um, let's see, the guy that got stabbed down in Puerto Rico. What the hell was his name? I'm just brain freezing up tonight. Yeah, the guy that wore, had to have fur, his hair was all a mess all the time. He was actually a very smart man though, and he got stabbed and got killed somewhere down Puerto Rico or Mexico one, and yeah, Bruiser Brody, Bruiser Brody, Frank Goodish, and I've actually got an interview where he's out of character, sitting and talking to somebody. An excellent interview, really is an excellent interview. He's sitting there talking for about 40 minutes, and all you gotta do is put in YouTube, put Bruiser Brody actual video or actual interview, and it's really good. If you've never watched it, this was, obviously before he passed away. He was he was fun to watch. Some of those WCCW guys were fun to watch. I wasn't huge on the Von Erichs deal, especially when they started bringing in cousins that weren't cousins and stuff like that. His son was interviewed for Dark Side of the Ring. Yep. I tell you, somebody I really, really liked growing up was Big John Studd. He started in NWA. He was one of the first. Rowdy Roddy Piper, when he just did crazy stuff. It just went off the hook and went crazy. Greg Valentine. They really had a lot of talent back in the day. Would come through there. Matt Bourne, Maniac Matt Bourne. He was fun to watch. They really, really had a lot of talent back in the late 70s, early 80s, and then they just churned more talent out. Some people to this day even say, had they not sold that Mid-Atlantic region out in Georgia, who knows? Who knows where it could be right now? Vince did some good stuff, but he did also some bad stuff, especially when he ratted out wrestling. And went public and said, now it's no longer wrestling, it's entertainment. I think that downsized it a little bit. There's a lot of people that just quit going watching it. My age. Now, you folks out there that are in your 30s and 20s, totally different. It's a totally different era for you. But I was born in the 60s. I was a teenager, late 70s, early 80s. So, to me, it was a lot of fun. 80, 81, 79, 80, 81, 82. 3 wrestlers that WWE wasted their potential the most. Wow. Damn. The guy we was talking about a little while ago, Adam Cole. I don't think he ever used him up to his potential. That's my opinion. Totally my opinion. I think Adam Cole can carry a company. I really do. I think Adam Cole has that capability of carrying a company. Who else did they waste their potential? How about Ahmed Johnson? Wasn't he a hell of a good wrestler? Wasn't he a really good wrestler? And they just pretty much just kind of pushed him off to the side. I realized he got hurt. Yeah, EC3, that's nuts to this day. Yeah, Ethan Carter III. Yeah, I never understood that. Ethan Carter the third. He can be a good heel or he can be a good face. It doesn't matter. He is real. They did give Ahmed Johnson a world title run, didn't they? Yeah, they let him run with it, but they really didn't get Cesaro. Yeah. Now let me ask you this: is Cesaro, is that Claudio Castagnoli? Claudio Castagnoli, isn't it right? Yeah, he did. He threw a lot of people around and stuff. A lot of people didn't like him. I knew a lot of people did not like Ahmed Johnson. Yeah, Claudio Castagnoli. When I watched him back in Ring of Honor, my gosh, he was a brute. He was a brute. He was tough, fun to watch, and nobody ran over him. Carolina finally scores on the power play, 4-1. There, it's a little late, too late. But that's a good name to put out there. It really is. They never. I tell you, somebody else they really never used was. Now understand why. Arn Anderson, because Tully Blanchard failed a drug test and got rid of Tully. But Arn Anderson was a singles wrestler in WCW and NWA. He was an NWA TV title. He held it for 3 times for over a couple of years. Watch him with Xavier Woods, Tyler Breeze, and Adam Cole. He's a funny guy. Yeah. Claudio Castagnoli, I watched him years ago in Ring of Honor. Oh man, I'll tell you, a lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch. To me, in the last 10 years, that's the best wrestling that's been. Until recently, where AEW took them over, obviously. Ring of Honor was the bomb. I loved watching that. I loved watching it. I just thought when they had Ring of Honor telecast going on, but the Rangers come right back now. It's 5-1. Turn out the lights apart. Yeah, it's over with. The Rangers fans are going to. Not too many of them probably down there. But yeah. Aaron Judge, 18 home runs. And then the other kid is looking for $60 million a year. That's going to be interesting. See if he ends up getting that. Game 1, yep. Avs and Oilers. Yeah, I think the Avalanche have a little bit better chance. I think the Avalanche have a little better defense. But I'm hoping the Oilers win. I'd love to see the Oilers and Rangers. What could be better than that? Oilers and Rangers. New York, Edmonton. I think I would love to see that. I know Matt Sharver down in Tampa, he wants to see Tampa win again. But I think a lot of people would like to see different teams go in there. And how about New York and how about Edmonton? I think that would be a knockdown brawl right there. I really do. I don't think it would go to 4 games. It would go 6 or 7. I think it would be tough. I think it would be a tough matchup for both teams. I would probably give Edmonton a little bit of an edge there. I think Edmonton has a little bit better offense, especially. They got a couple of guys capable of scoring, and but I give an advantage defensively to the Rangers. I'll admit any combination of the 8, you can't really go wrong. Yeah, okay. The other kid for the Yankees looking for $50 million a year. I don't know if he's going to get it from the Yankees or not. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting because it's just you gotta wonder how much money is out there, and they can only raise the salary cap by a certain percentage every year. And if they sign him for $50 million, somebody they got now has got to go. If you could pick any of the current wrestlers as your top 4 draft picks for a brand new wrestling company, oh my gosh, man. We got like MJF. MJF would be my number 1 wrestler right now. I would take Adam Cole with him. Oh man. I really Matt Cardona. I like Matt Cardona. I really do. Matt Cardona's a heck of an athlete. And then I would take Camille as my women's champ, as a women's wrestler. If I started with that, I think I'd be okay. So it would be MJF, Adam Cole, Matt Cardona, Camille. I don't know. You guys probably watch it more than me and probably know better wrestlers than I do. But to me, they could be draws. Kenny Omega would be up there. Kenny Omega's been hurt so much. You couldn't go wrong with John Moxley either. John Moxley he's a good draw. He's a real good draw. I didn't like him at all at WWE, and I've turned 180 degrees to really like to watch him now, especially since he wrestles at MLW, and he's MLW champion or has been, and then he wrestles at AEW. I'll just love that there's enough places for these wrestlers to apply their craft. Yeah, that's it. And the good thing about it, if you like New Japan wrestling, that's a totally different brand almost. It's almost, they're their own brand. They've been out there for years and years. AAA, if you like that Mexican style, that's fun to watch too. AAA, CMLL, that still comes on television. So yesterday during AEW's pay-per-view, WWE was advertising Money in the Bank on a truck. Right now, if you had to tell me, if you was asking me which wrestling right now is the number 1 in the world right now, I'm not sure it's not New Japan, but in America, I think it's AEW by that little bit. I think AEW has passed WWE. They have better wrestlers. They can keep. If I turn on WWE, I won't watch it long. I lose interest really quick. I can turn on AEW. Their announcers are really good. They will keep me interested in enough to at least sit there and watch it 30, 45 minutes. I can do that. And I just don't think WWE has the wrestlers to do that right now. That's my opinion. I think they messed up when they got rid of Triple H and the lower NXT or whatever. They needed that. And I don't know if Triple H has anything to do with it now or not, but it doesn't look like it. And Shane has no more to do with it. He has nothing to do with it. It's even been rumored that Shane may even get in, or Stephanie. I've heard different things about Stephanie lately. I don't know if any of it's true. I know Charlotte's having a baby. So we'll see what happens there. Or had a baby, whatever. She's pregnant now, whatever. But, to me, Shane McMahon, if he got together with Tony Khan, that could be gold. If Khan said, look, I'll give you 10% of the company, but obviously you'd have to watch him close to make sure he doesn't try to turn on your ass. You know what I'm saying? But that would, because him and his dad's not that tight now. Him and his dad are not tight. He got fired from the company. And it's not a BS thing. He actually had him taken out of Titan Towers, and they just had too many fights going on. I'm not sure what direction he would go though. So I don't know. He might not would help you a lot, because I don't want him wrestling for me. I don't want him wrestling for me. I would want him as maybe an announcer or somebody that could maybe be a manager, whatever. Uh, but if they would be willing to pay him to come do that, if he would be willing to cross the line, that could be gold for Tony Khan right now. It really could, because I don't think Triple H would. Triple H has been given the gold mine before. I mean, he kind of walked into the gold mine. He wasn't originally a part of it. But Shane no longer has any ownership, no longer has any stock in the company. That would be something to watch. If you ever did want to see something, see Shane McMahon go over to AEW. Crazier stuff's happened, folks. Crazier stuff. Let Triple H and Regal run ROH. I don't think Triple H would leave. I don't think Triple H would do it. Rumor is WWE really wants to bring back Bray Wyatt, but his asking price is pretty high. Now, is he wrestling any at all now for AEW? Is he wrestling for AEW now? What's his situation? Or is he just is he in stagnant, not wrestling either place? But Wyatt has not come to AEW. He hasn't wrestled since he left. He worked on a movie. That's the thing. Right now, he could be under contract with WWE and be like Ricky Steamboat had a contract. He had a 4-year deal with him, but he had 2 3-month layovers. So I think he was with him 18 months, and then 19th, 20th, and 21st month was like 3-month vacation. And it was like, okay, where is Ricky Steamboat going? Where is he coming? And he popped back up at WWE or WWF at the time. And so it could be something like that. It could be where he's got a 6-month layoff to where he can go do other stuff, not getting paid, but still realizes he's still got a contract. Yeah, I really hope Brock Lesnar's retired. Yeah, I got tired of watching him too. I really did. Yeah, Brock, I don't know. And Goldberg needs to give it up too if he hasn't. I don't know if Goldberg gave it up yet or not. But yeah, we're getting to be 10:40 here on the East Coast. If you did not watch my bowling earlier, rewind it, go back and watch it. These were the bowlers I had out here tonight: Mark Roth, Chris Barnes, Walter Ray Williams Jr. against Pete Weber, Norm Duke against Parker Bone III. I'm sorry, and Earl Anthony and Jason Belmonte. So that's the way I went. That's the way that went tonight. And one of those guys ended up winning the tournament tonight. So first tournament, we'll see how things go. If I really get a lot of views, get a lot of likes, and just overall have people say, "Hey, Rob, I like watching your Bowlerama. I'll come back on and do it again." Next week's scheduled at Seattle. This week was at LA, and we'll have the top 8 bowlers that come out of the gate, and we'll have them again next week for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. Had a little talk with everybody. Didn't really have any live guests. We can have a live guest or 2 on there next week as well. It's all up to you guys. Okay. Also, me and Keith White, we're going to finish up our series that we had going here at the house. Cubs versus Astros. Game 6 is coming up. Astros are at home, and it'll be Verlander versus Hendricks. So we'll do that. That will be with it. DH. And then if we're able to pull that one out, then we'll go back to Chicago and play game 7 without a DH. So we'll see what happens. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. Tune back in for some more Bolorama and tune in. We'll try to have some more wrestling on here very, very soon as well. Okay. Till I see you again, my name's Rob. Welcome to the Jabroni Network. Please subscribe, please like, and I hope to see you back here next time we're here. Night, and God bless. Bye-bye.